even after 17 years. This movie still keeps millions of people up at night. All because of its chaotic, convoluted plot. Today let's analyze this 2006 horror film. Silent Hill. The girl, Alessa, stands dazed at the cliff's edge. Plagued by nightmares since birth, in the fiery world below. A girl just like her calls out. As Alessa is about to jump. Her adoptive mother, Rose, saves her. This isn't the first time Alessa's tried to jump. To find her daughter's innocence. Rose takes Alessa there in secret. Rose's husband Sharon can't reach them, but finds the words Silent Hill in her search history. It says decades ago. A huge fire killed nearly all the residents. The flames still burn today. At a gas station at night. Rose sees violent drawings in Alessa's book. Alessa doesn't know where they came from. Rose has no choice but to drive on. The truth must be there. But Alessa's cries attract a female cop's attention. Rose had just left the gas station. As she prepared to pull over, she noticed a sign up ahead. Rose steeled herself and hit the gas toward the sign. But halfway there, the radio erupted in piercing static. Her daughter screaming and clutching her head. As Rose tried to turn it off, a figure appeared ahead. Rose couldn't avoid it. Crashing into a guardrail. When Rose awoke, she was in a snowy world. Her daughter was gone. Rose got out calling for her. As snowflakes fell on her face. And realized in horror. It was ash, not snow. She walked on, and saw a sign. Welcome to Silent Hill. Suddenly, Rose saw a figure like her daughter. She chased after it. To a narrow stairwell. A piercing siren rang out. And the sky went dark. But to find her daughter, Rose descended cautiously. Her lighter barely lit the space, rust and decay everywhere. Then she saw a charred figure tied to a wire fence. Impossibly still alive and so disgusting. Then Rose recoiled in horror. But worse danger lurked ahead. She's searching desperately for an exit. Meanwhile, the creatures tore her coat off. Pouring in like a tidal wave. Just before being torn apart, the creatures suddenly crumbled to ash. The shock knocked Rose unconscious. When Rose awoke again, fog surrounded her. She decided to leave this bizarre place. But the road back was now a sheer cliff. As Rose stood stunned, a disheveled woman appeared, saying Silent Hill was cursed by darkness. No one escapes alive. Rose asked about her daughter, but when she saw the photo, the woman insisting it was her daughter, Alessa, Rose was exasperated. She pushed the woman away and fled. Finding her car with a drawing on the seat, pointing to the school for clues. Rose called Sharon. But there was no signal in Silent Hill. All she could do was leave a message. Just then the cop appeared holding a gun. Having followed her all the way here. When she saw the girl was vanished, she assumed Rose had killed her. Rose said this place incredibly disordered. Begging the cop to help her save her daughter, but the cop was determined to take her in. As there's no signal or working vehicle, they had to set out on foot. Meanwhile Sharon got Rose's message. And drove desperately to Silent Hill. But was stopped by police. They are investigating the missing female cop. He learned they had found Rose's car. But no trace of her. How the police found the car, we'll explain later. In order to find the missing people as soon as possible, Jack would go with Sharon into Silent Hill. On the other side, the cop with Rose tried a different route, only to find a living creature writhing behind the fence. It was a monstrous armless creature. As the cop raised her gun, it spewed corrosive black liquid. The cop fired but bullets had no effect. In the fight, Rose slipped away to find her daughter. Sharon and Jack entered Silent Hill, but arrived somewhere completely different. Devoid of life but bright. Jack tells Sharon he survived the fire. Following signs, Rose reached the school from the drawings. Again she saw her daughter's figure. Chasing it to the bathroom, she took a blue plate from Corp's mouth. As she prepared to leave, mysterious masked figures appeared. Rose locked the metal door, praying they would leave. The air raid siren sounded again. The figures hurried off as the walls began peeling away. Bring her back to the fiery world. The corpse now moved, crawling toward her hideously. Rose cried and fled. But giant insects now flooded outside, consuming the three masked figures. Rose ducked into a nearby room, where she again saw the girl in purple. Undoubtedly the mad woman's daughter, Alessa. She glanced Rose's way, and the solid fence instantly ruptured. Struggling up, Rose saw the huge bladed monster appear, with insects swarming behind. Just as they were about to consume Rose, the cop pulled her into a room. The monster sliced open the door. Bullets had no effect. As it was about to break in, the insects crumbled to ash, and the danger disappeared. The cop agreed to help find her daughter. Rose showed the plate from the monster's mouth, marked with a hotel symbol. Following it, they found the place. Inside, the mad woman argued with someone. When seeing Rose, she left silently. The other was a local woman named Sybil, who said the survivors were in the church. In locker 111, Sybil found a painting. Rose thought the number is significant. As they go to room 111, they saw Alessa's figure, identical to Rose's daughter. As Rose prepared to ask about her something, a horrifying sight appeared. Then Rose and Cop decided to discuss a countermeasure together. Meanwhile, crows flew overhead. They know the fiery world was coming again. As sirens sounded again, they raced toward the church. Rose saw the symbol above the church, matched her daughter's drawing exactly. Other refugees poured in. The mad woman appeared, warning she not to trust those inside, or they'd never leave alive. The woman said the girl sought vengeance. Before Rose could ask more, darkness fell. Just before entering the church, they saw the monster controlling Sybil, then crushing him before their eyes. Meanwhile, Sharon sensed Jack's deception, and broke into the records room, learning of Alessa in the fire files. Shockingly, he finds Alessa looked just like his daughter. Then he run to the orphanage, asked the nun, but she refused any information. Then the police chief Jack arrived, telling the real tragedy. Alessa was tortured to death by the cult. In the church, Rose was shocked. Cop's gun calmed the crowd. The purple-robed leader appeared. When Rose asked about her daughter, she said Rose had to face unknown fears alone. Rose disregarded the danger. The leader escorted Rose to a hospital, saying the demon was in room 151 downstairs. As Rose approached the elevator, the leader saw the photo, and flew into a rage. To cover Rose, Cop shoved her into the elevator, and faced the crazed cult alone. Following her memories, Rose ran to room 151, only to find faceless nurses. Rose lured them away, and reached room 151, where she learned the whole truth. Alessa was bullied at school. To escape, she hid in the bathroom, where a janitor assaulted her. Seeing her daughter's wounds, her mother had no recourse. The cult leader claiming she could purify Alessa's darkness. Alessa was strapped to a pyre by the cult, but the chains broke during the vile ritual. The overturned furnace caused the same fire. Thanks to Jack, who braved the flames, the sole survivor of Silent Hill's fire. Though her body lived, but the resentment in her heart turned into dark Alessa. Only a glance. She trapped the nurse in endless nightmares, she gaining evil power to create Silent Hill's parallel worlds. One was the reality Jack and Shawn reached, one a foggy realm, the other filled with monsters. That's why the police found Rose's car, but no sign of the Roses, because they were in the real world. Rose was in a parallel world. Rose asks Alessa where her daughter is. She said, "It wasn't your child. It's the goodness in my heart." She sent the good version of Alessa to the orphanage. That's how they got their adopted daughter. For years, the darker version of Alessa wanted revenge, until Rose's arrival upset the balance. By merging with Rose's body, she'll be able to enter the church. In the church, Cop was about to be burned at the stake. The leader said only her death would restore light. Then Cop burned alive before Rose arrived. As she arrived, she told them that they all died 30 years ago. No apocalypse, only the leader's lies. No darkness or light, only the evil in their hearts. Sensing doubt, the leader stabbed Rose. Black blood spilled and flowed into the church, turning it into an infernal representation of violence. Rose's wound miraculously healed. Alessa finally appeared in the church, releasing vines of death, impaling the leader. Then the followers, none were spared. For all hearts held evil. Alessa's revenge was complete. Rose rescued her daughter, shielding her eyes from the bloody scene. But she peeked and fainted in fear. Soon everything vanished. The mad woman sat stunned, asking why Alessa hadn't killed her. Rose said, "Because you're her mother." Her daughter glanced back, with more than innocence in her eyes. At the end, mother and daughter were home. But reality remained foggy. Lying there, Shawn sensed Rose's return. He got up to find her. But there was nothing. They were now in parallel worlds. Her daughter was merged with Alessa, and Rose trapped forever in the fog. For Alessa wanted that motherly love. It's seemingly a tragic revenge tale, but actually condemned the medieval church's darkness. Under the guise of light, they bewitched people. It also showed that in any time or place, a mother's love shines as our beacon of humanity.